It's all about the culture. It's all about bringing the 242 to the 305. It is, we're supposed to be talking sports and stuff, but we're also talking Bahamian culture. And one of my original broadcasting radio family members is here visiting from the Bahamas. Miranda Innis from ZNS in Freeport. Oh my God!
I am on your radio, guy.
How you doing? Good. What brings you to Miami this weekend? Is it family or
family? Just hanging out with family. I hardly ever come to the 305, but it's so good to be in town, and even better to see you.
Right. This is awesome, man. This is like a reunion of sorts, and we were talking about our old days at ZNS and how it all started for us. I'm telling you right now, you couldn't tell me I wasn't working at CNN. Seriously, I thought I was like one of the greatest things or the weirdest things that happened to me in my career since I moved from the Bahamas here. When I was at ZNS with you guys, I wrote a fan letter to Bob Costas at NBC, and he wrote me back.
That's major.
And,
that was major.
And I kept it for a lot of years, but I remember when I worked at 790 The Ticket, which was ESPN radio down the street, and I had to get him, and he wasn't doing radio interviews. He just doesn't do it. All right, and I told his publicist, I said, look, tell him it's the kid from the Bahamas who wrote him that letter all those years ago, and he remembered. Bob Costas remembered, and I got to interview him for Sunday Night Football. Can you believe that?
That was just huge. I think back then we were like really family. Like
yes.
we did our thing on radio, but we actually liked each other.
Yes.
And nowadays it's not often that you like people that you work with. I'm just sorry. It's just the way it is.
Absolutely. You know, what's funny, Miranda? I've interviewed Shaq. I talked to Magic Johnson. I talked to LeBron. I talked to Wade. The one time I was nervous was when I talked to Bob Costas. I can't figure that out for the life of me.
Because he was your idol, like a
hero.
Yeah, it's like you grow up watching somebody on TV and you finally get an opportunity to meet them. That's like me with my experience with Nelson Mandela.
You got to meet him?
Yeah. I actually...
Yo, we got to give her some love for that one. She got to meet Nelson Mandela, y'all.
I did. And it was as if, you know, you've read about him, you've seen him on TV, you know he was locked up for 27 years, and now he's in your backyard, like in Grand Bahama.
He was in the Bahamas?
Yes, he was. And this was like shortly after he had been released from prison.
Right.
And I had the opportunity to interview him. Like, I was like, okay, that's it. I can go to heaven now. I was speechless, but it was such an honor because he made it easy. He saw I was nervous. And he made it easy. It was like, okay, calm down.
So we both had our nervous moments then.
Absolutely.
We thought we were such badasses back then.
Oh, my God, no. It was like really like an out-of-body experience being able to talk with him.
Wow, amazing, man. The names, I mean, you guys probably wouldn't know them, but we, like Miranda said, we're family. I spoke with Carlton Smith, who kind of got your boy into sports broadcasting, and Diana Swan, who was our boss. And I was such a knucklehead back then, and you know, I ran into Diana at the airport in Grand Bahama, and I said, Diana, you know what? All that, you know, pushing and stuff that you gave me, actually, it really did, Miranda. It paid off. It made me a better professional. It taught me about how to prepare for my broadcast and coming early, because I took a lot of what I had for granted because it was God-given. So I took it for granted. That can happen, right?
Yeah, it absolutely can happen. I mean, when it comes natural, you don't pay as much attention to it. But even I learned so much because I took for granted too.
Yeah.
Like, it was just easy to come in, write the news, and read it. It was like, it was actually fun doing it. And then you get in the real world.
Right.
And you see where all those values, being on time. You know, I missed the newscast one morning because I overslept.
No.
Oh, my God.
That's my worst fear.
I did it.
The whole thing?
I was on the early, you know, that 6 o'clock shift or something.
Shift, yeah.
I'm terrible. I'm still terrible with early mornings. But, so I'm at home sleeping. My brother is listening to the news. We live together. And he's like knocking on my room door. Were you supposed to be to work this morning?
Did you have some Bahamian Junkanoo punch the night before?
I I don't even know what was going on with me, but the next thing I know, Albert Adley, remember him?
Yes,
Our boss,
Chief.
chief manager, he's calling me, asking me what happened. And I had no explanation.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Miranda Innis is with me here on the Jeff Fox Show. It's an honor to have you here. Bamboo Shack, 28 years in the Bahamas, 2 years in South Florida. Your thoughts on what the legacy of Bamboo Shack means to the people in the Bahamas?
Bamboo Shack has become an institution, and it's like nobody in or out of town. When you come to Nassau, it's a must-have. You have to stop to Bamboo Shack. You have to taste something on that menu. And even coming over to Miami, and I have family here who had never been.
Wow.
And I came over on the same flight with Gandhi and Rebecca.
Okay.
And so that's how I knew. And they were like, we got to go. We just have to be here and taste the food.
Right. And you know what? Bamboo Shack, when you figure of the fact that you have Bahamian basketball players in the NBA. I've seen Klay Thompson at Bamboo Shack. I've seen Buddy Hield at Bamboo Shack. That's one of his favorite spots. And now we have DeAndre Ayton playing for the Phoenix Suns, the number one player picked in the NBA. I just wanted to give a shout out, since I got one of my former Bahamas radio colleagues with me, give a shout out to Jeff Rogers, who does a great job, who's probably responsible for DeAndre being in the NBA, and Coach Gladstone, Moon McPhee with Freeport. Shout out to those guys, man. We got some talent in the Bahamas.
Listen, those guys have been a staple in helping to shape and frame careers for guys in the NBA, and not just the NBA, professional sports across the board in the Bahamas. And I think what Bamboo Shack has been able to do is to bring people together.
Yes.
And so when people now hear about Bamboo Shack, and it's like, I have to go there when I go to the Bahamas. It's
Absolutely.
that popular.
Absolutely. I got a mission for you. Grab Gandhi for me. And thank you so much, Miranda.
Thank you. Good to
Thank you for joining me here on the show. How about it, man? Miranda Innis, a colleague of mine, forever, for life, here on the Jeff Fox Show, 2 Live Stews Radio.